Hi, my name is Lynnette Nicholas with Parents.com. How are you?
I'm very good. How you doing, Lynnette?
Good, good. Thank you for speaking with us. So, my first question is there are a lot of themes on friendship, popularity, empathy, and so much more that are very appropriate for kids and teens. In what ways has being a father of five prepared you to direct this film?
It's crazy to say a father of five because I'm still getting used to that term.
Yeah, you got it's new, right?
I think being a father in general has changed my whole reason to be making movies. I was the youngest of five, so I was the recipient of stories and beautiful fairy tales to allow me to dream bigger than I ever thought I could dream. And then life happens and you find out, oh, it's harder than that. And when I had kids, it forces you to look at what you want them to grow up in, what kind of stories you want them to be around. And so for something like this, I want them to grow in a fairy tale. I want them to believe in big dreams. I don't want them to be in a pessimistic world. You know, LA can raise you as a very pessimistic, sarcastic person. I want them to be able to dream the way I dream. However, I also want them to be ready for the resilience that it's going to take to make a better world. I want them to be warriors that can survive the hard things and the uncomfortable conversations. So I think that this to build a fairy tale, a timeless fairy tale that hopefully will always be there, that addresses those things that aren't in the childlike fairy tales, I think to me is important for a generation that's going to have to face those things.
Very nice, very nice. Now, one of our editors wants to know, how would you describe the world of Oz to a child? There's so many adults talking about how much they love the movie, but how would you describe it specifically for a child to interpret?
Well, I would look at and we had to do this for ourselves to ask ourselves, what is Oz and what makes it different from the other fairylands that we've been to, like Neverland and Peter Pan. Neverland is a place of play and childlike thoughts. Okay, great. So that's where you play in your child. Okay, so Wonderland and Alice in Wonderland. Oh, that's a place that has such bizarre things that it's meant to drive you a little bit nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, then in Oz is a place that is of delight and wonder because maybe it's meant to distract you from the things that you actually have to deal with, which we will deal with in Wicked. But I think it's a place of wonder and delight. So at every turn, you know, even just buttons on a shirt will be curved or something different that is not of the earth. That makes you just double look at it. A library isn't just straight lines; it's curved and maybe turns. So every turn of it is a place of delight and wonder to me.
Very nice, very nice. Now, you recently had a little girl, and her name
Yes.
is Stevie Sky. We at parents want to know, do you have a story behind her birth name? We have a segment where we talk
Yes.
about birth names, but do you have a story behind her birth name?
Well, some of my heroes are Steve Jobs, Steven Spielberg, Steven Schwartz, Stevie Wonder, Stevie Nicks.
Yes.
They're all people who I really look up to, and they all shared this name. Also, the morning of when her water broke, we were at the premiere in the hotel looking over. So her contractions were a little bit far apart. So we just hung out on the deck for a little bit before we went to the hospital, and the sun was rising. We're like, this is the most beautiful thing. And we started talking about the sky. We started talking about the sun. We started talking about when in doubt, look up. Like I love that idea that the sky is where the broomsticks and the bubbles meet. So we wanted to give her a name that reflected that as well. So Stevie Sky it was. Although my mom said Stevie Sky doesn't sound like a president's name because she always thinks we're going to be president of the United States. I said, well, she's going to be a rock star, mom. I'm sorry.
Very nice, very nice. That's a beautiful birth name story. Okay, and so in closing, what are you hoping that kids, teens, parents, and families take away from the Wicked?
I hope that this generation feels that we know that you have an immense power inside. Our generation didn't have a camera and the internet to spread our ideas. Very powerful weapon that we all carry. And the responsibility to carry that your voice can be scary, especially when you don't have a lot of guidance because even the generation before you didn't have those things. I hope that this movie between Glinda and Elphaba know that they have that power and they're trying to figure it out at this time, and that there's different roads for them to take, and that they're going to go through times where they make mistakes, and times where they have to forgive each other, and times where they have to put their power down and just listen. And I hope that through this story that they feel empowered and not alone in that journey, that there are people who understand what these generations are going to go through, and that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not try to control, because she's constantly told, prove yourself and control this, but actually to surrender to your power and to use your voice in ways that feel most true, and sometimes actually put it down so that you can hear other people's power as well. So that the nuance of this fairy tale allows them to know that can exist. The better world can exist, but it's not easy. It's not a yellow brick road that just guides you there.
Very nice. Thank you so much for speaking with parents.com. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Good talking to you.